Hey guys, what's up? Saveon02 here, back with another video, and today we are here with some news, question mark. So recently there was a post on Twitter that I'm gonna dive into, but yeah, this entire thing is kind of weird. So I'm just gonna say, and I'm gonna start the video off with, take this with a grain of salt, please, because we don't know, nobody knows, I'm pretty sure. But I did see this video being made by Slow Plays, and if you guys love Slow Plays, dude, this guy is pretty cool. He's pretty chill. He likes Dragon Ball. A lot of us love Dragon Ball. When I saw it, I had to do some research myself, and I was like, there is really somebody saying this is gonna happen. And he never said it was gonna happen, but I want to go ahead and dive deeper into that. So Dragon Ball Chronicles, or Super Chronicles, if you guys remember, made a tweet back then, and he said Dragon Ball Xenoverse 3 is in development, expected to release around 2024. As you guys know, it's 2025. And the source of that information was Psycho Devin, which was on this was a YouTube video that this guy had made. He basically confirmed the information through that video, but now I'm gonna get into it. So let me go ahead and explain to y'all why I bring these points up. Louise M, this guy, a lot has happened in the Dragon Ball French community. For those who don't know, this has a lot of traction behind it. So if you guys go on Twitter, because I'm pretty sure most of y'all aren't gonna do this, so I'm gonna do it for you. I'm going to show you on screen. It says info on Xenoverse 3 that I obtained from a quote-unquote reliable source in Japan and can now share. Well in development, numerous delays, and some aspects have been completely redone from scratch. Graphically very beautiful. A playable version already exists, and release is in 2027 to 2028. That's is a lot to digest, so I'm gonna get right into it and explain basically why I brought up the first point. Okay, so the reason I brought up from Super Chronicles that Xenoverse 3 is in development, expected around 2024, was because that post was from 2022. This game was supposed to have already been released, Chief. And before, obviously, I said take it with a grain of salt because it just didn't make sense to me why they would release something in 2024 when there's still DLC to be made. So I was like, take it with a grain of salt. I think there's a good reason why I say that here, because it makes sense as to why, like, where it says, like, right here, and I'm pretty sure, like I said before, y'all can see it, numerous delays and some aspects have been completely redone from scratch. Super Chronicles confirmed this information back in 2022, where he said expected to release around 2024. There hasn't been a single hint, word, DLC, or any of that. We haven't heard from anybody saying that this was going to happen, or that there was even a playable build of this, or the fact that it was going to release in 2024. But this tweet says 2027 to 2028. But apparently a build of the game already exists. So it's kind of like, who do we believe here? Because it makes sense, because again, numerous delays, and then he confirmed that it was going to be released back in 2024, but he said this in 2022, and now it's 2025, so it's like, I don't really know about that, man. I don't know about that. It just doesn't make sense, bro. It just doesn't make sense. It just don't, man. It just don't. But that's why I was like, hold off on this information, because this is the only guy that I've seen talk about this. Now, there are other sources that are like, oh yeah, I can confirm this guy, what he says to be true. While y'all can't confirm, yes, is there any proof that there is a actual playable version of this? Because like I said before, Super Chronicles literally confirmed this back in 2022, where he said July 10th actually, that a playable version of this game, basically, he didn't even say playable, he said the game was in development, expected around 2024, but there's nothing on this. Not even a hint of oh yeah, this is coming out, this and this. I don't believe it for this reason, because it just doesn't make sense, bro. It just doesn't. I don't think that this is gonna happen, and if it does happen, then this guy was right, and I'll believe him. But this is like every 2 years, man, that somebody comes out with this and says, oh yeah, well, this game is happening every 2 years and expected release a year later, this and this, and it's like, bro, it just, where's the information? It doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense. Not to me. And I'm not saying the game is gonna happen or that it's in development or is coming out this date, this date, this date. However, I am saying it wouldn't make sense for them to even drop this because they still got a bunch of stuff to work on with Sparking Zero. They still have DLC for Xenoverse 2, which is 10 years old, I believe. This game is like 10 years old, bro. It's like GTA 5 of Dragon Ball. It just wouldn't make sense for them to drop Xenoverse 3 right now, only because look at everything. We're in 2025. It says sometime around 2027, 2028. That's when we're supposed to expect it. But it's like, dude, there's too much going on at the moment. We got Dragon Ball Project Multi, or I wouldn't even say Project Multi, is Gekishin Squadra, I think it is. They have shit going on, bro. Fighters just technically came back from the dead. So it's like, do we really want to give another game right now or get another game right now? I mean, I'm down for Xenoverse 3. I just don't think it's gonna happen because it's too much going on. But for the fact that he said this back in 2022, but then they come out with information supporting what he said, basically, because they said there's numerous delays and they had to redo stuff from the ground up, it kind of makes sense. That's why I'm like, it just makes sense for there to be some sort of like delay or rumor that this is happening when it literally matches up with what dude said. It literally matches up with everything he said, dude. It just makes sense. That's why I'm like, I don't know, man. I don't know. Maybe that's just me, but I don't know. I don't know. I'm just saying. But I want to know what y'all think about that in the description, like in the comment section, because it just, to me, it doesn't make sense to even release Xenoverse 3 right now. It just doesn't make sense because there's no, like, y'all are already focused on other Dragon Ball games. So for you to have, and y'all literally just released like DLC for Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. So why would you release a whole new game when you have multiple other games still having live service like features being added every so often? And I know they're like in a legal battle right now, like Toei and Shueisha over the Dragon Ball rights and stuff. I think Bird Studio is also in it too, I'm not sure. But it's like there's really nothing y'all can really do at the moment in regards to the anime, or just because I mean, if y'all release Dragon Ball Xenoverse 3, right, what will be the point? Because the anime is not back yet. So it's like, if the anime is not even back, y'all are just rehashing what's already been added into the current Xenoverse game, which Xenoverse 1 ended at Battle of Gods, I'm pretty sure, and Xenoverse 2 ended around, what, current, I want to say, like, it didn't fully end, but, like, it ended around GT, like, end of Z type stuff. But, like, the story-wise, it ended around Dragon Ball Super the first time, which included Jiren and all that. But then you get into Xenoverse 3, and it's like, what do you really have there? Because nothing's been shown for the anime. Nothing's been put out. It's just a waste of time. It would make sense for them not to adapt anything or even make a third game right off the bat. Now, if there is some sort of like news that we get an anime return, good. That means we can properly make content for the game, you know, have content for the game be out, and then justify the Xenoverse 3 release date. But you can't justify it with no anime, you know what I mean? That's really the only reason why I'm so against this, because it wouldn't make sense for them to do it, considering there's no like content to be had from the game. There's no in-depth story that they could really do besides rehashing the original Xenoverse formula, and it just wouldn't make sense altogether because it just doesn't add up, and it doesn't make sense because, well, there's no anime, there's no content, and you can't add content from the manga in the game because, again, that's confirming the color scheme and all that. That's basically confirming it before it even gets adapted, so there's no point because nobody knows anything about it. But that's just my opinion, my take on it, pretty much.